Hey everyone, happy Tuesday and welcome to another edition of Insider Live, where we talk all things eXp. And there's a lot of questions people have about what this place is all about. Why is everybody going over there? We're going to cover it all today. And I am one of your co-hosts today. My name is Frank Panunto. I'm a Vice President of Growth for the US East. And I am my partner in crime is back. I missed you so much last week, Amy. So welcome back, Amy Weaver.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Canada was wonderful, but Frank, I really enjoy these evenings with you. So I'm glad I'm back here in my hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm here with you.
Now you're just lying. You would much rather be in Montreal than doing this with me, and I understand that. But while you're on that topic, though, that's kind of cool that you're talking about that. Real quick, people think that we're just this big virtual company and nobody talks to each other. You were actually at one of our 3 eXp cons, which is really cool. So you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. We had over 700 agents. It's our 3rd eXp Con Canada, and it was so amazing. The information that the agents received from stage and in the breakouts, it was incredible. We got nothing but amazing feedback. The events team knocked it out of the park. The agents had a production mastermind. It was just chock full of great information. And we really enjoyed getting to talk to agents and hearing what's important to them and getting that positive feedback just meant the world to us. So it was awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. And there's one of 3, everyone. So we do have an eXp Con in the U.S. every year, which is going to be in Miami this year, where we average a little over 6,000 agents, which is so cool. Then, as Amy said, we were just in Montreal, and this year we're going to be in Barcelona, Spain, which is unbelievable for our international eXp Con. So,
and I think they already have. We're a couple months out from that, and we already have twice as many attendees already than we did last year. So, so it's exciting times at eXp.
That's really cool.
Sure. Yeah,
it's really cool. It's kind of neat because as we can kind of get into the slideshow if you want, but it's kind of neat because I think, and I say this every week, and I just kind of want to reemphasize this is that I still think that the most overused word in our industry is agent centric, and we are by far the definition of agent centric. And we're going to prove that as we go through this presentation tonight. But one of the things that we're talking about at eXpCon is that, sometimes when you go to these conferences, you see the leadership up there and they're talking about everything that's, a lot of rah-rah stuff, but not a whole lot of substance. When you come to our eXp cons, it's all agent led. And so when we had, we just had ours in October, we had over 100 breakouts. And what these breakouts were agents teaching agents. It's people sharing their playbooks. So when you really talk about collaboration, you're talking about agent-centric. The whole conference is geared towards production, and then how do we make you better, and how do we get you from point A to point B? So all of that's pretty cool.
It is. And I just want to expand on that because, we did from the stage, we made sure that everything was for the agents and how to grow their business and how to use more of eXp's tools, how to plug into the community, really elevate their business in the way that they choose to do. So it was just incredible. And every single time we do make it all about the agents and making sure that the content is what the agents are asking for. We actually ask them, what do you want to hear? Yeah. What do you vote on for what do you guys want in the breakout sessions? What do you want to see on the main stage? And we get as many agents as we can to be up there on stage and share what incredible things that they're doing at eXp. So super exciting.
Yeah, very, very cool. So if you joined us tonight, thank you again. And, if you're having problems with time management, if you're having problems with lead generation, if you're having problems with marketing, I don't know how to do stuff on social media. We're going to address all of that stuff tonight as we go through everything that eXp has to offer, kind of from a 30,000-foot view. But, there's a reason why we get thousands of people who are joining us on a monthly basis. And we're very proud of that. And, why? Well, why is it? Why are people coming there? Well, we're going to get into that pretty heavily right now. So let's get started.
Oh, I forgot that I'm controlling the slides. So
I think you are.
I am. So let me do that.
There you go.
Frank, we are the largest independent real estate brokerage on the planet. And we're super proud of that because we are one large brokerage. We're not a franchise. And when Glenn Sanford in 2009 decided he wanted to build this company, this is what he had in mind. And so I think that every single company that is following after us now, that is building, is really modeling it after what Glenn built, because it's a model that works. One thing that we say though is you can replicate the model, or try to replicate the model with a little twist on it, but you can't replicate the people. But if you can see the trajectory of our agent count, and I'm so excited because the momentum that we have right now, I know that that trajectory is just going to keep getting higher. So yeah, super exciting times.
Yeah, these are great times for us. And, it's as we're talking about that, and you're talking about the people can't be replicated, there's something really important in there. And that, when you talk about Glenn, who was our founder, and you talk about Leo Pareja, who was our phenomenal CEO, you talk about the whole executive team and leadership. Every single one of us is a licensed real estate agent. Why do I bring that up? I bring it up because I think it's important for people to understand that every single decision made at this company is made by a real estate agent for a real estate agent. And that matters. So there's a lot of companies out there, models where they're answering to a board of directors who've never sold a house, or they're stockholders who have never had to worry about a home inspection issue. They don't understand the hurdles and the obstacles that we have to face on a daily basis. So when you have leadership that's been there, done that, and they understand what the challenges are, and then we build a company around that to try to help navigate those challenges, you can't compare that to anything else.
Mm-hmm. And thus this is why we keep moving on up. So
moving on up.
Moving on up.
Someone said.
So one thing that we like to brag on is more than the size or the number of agents that we have is the number of transactions that we're actually involved in, because that means we're helping families with one of the most important financial decisions they will ever make. And so our agents, guess what? They sell a lot of houses. And so we've been number one in transactions, which to us means we're number one in the hearts of the families and our agents for 22, 23, and 24. So we were just recognized in Real Trends as being number one in transactions by a mile. So we don't just, collect the greatest number of agents. We also have agents that are highly productive, and it is our mission to continue to help them build their business and make them more productive so that we can help more families.
Yeah, so this is also going to be a special edition of Myth Busters. So one of the big myths out there is that all you guys do over there at eXp is you're just a recruiting company and you are a multi-level marketing. That's all you guys do. When the fact of the matter is we are a production company first. We sell houses. We do smell, and we smell more houses than anybody in the industry. Yeah, no, but we do. We lead the pack in houses sold. So, that's very important. So, one of the reasons why not only the quantity of the agent that's coming to eXp, but the quality of the agent that's coming to eXp. Industry leaders are coming here. And the reason is we move the needle when it comes to production.
We do. And we continue to have masterminds around production. We have in-person masterminds. So another debunk, like, yes, we do get together in person very regularly. So we have masterminds. And Leo and John Cheplak lead a production mastermind for teams every single month. So we want to pour in and plug into these agents as much as we can so that their production is where they want it to be.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So here are some of the awards that we've been recognized for, as Amy was just talking about, with Real Trends being number one in transactions. And so, listen, our accolades speak for themselves. We're not out there bragging about it. We're just being about it. We like to put our money where our mouth is, and we just go out there and get it done. So we're super happy about that. And I also think it's also a testament to our platform works. Everybody says, well, we have these tools. Do you have that tools? I understand that everybody has tools, but A, do people plug in, and B, do they actually work? Again, putting numbers to it. When we get the agent centric, we keep looking at where we can add things to people, add to their business to make sure that they get productive. And this is just another testament to that.
Yeah. I want to say to our audience, because I'm seeing you guys, I'm tracking you over here. If you have questions for Frank and I, drop them in the chat. We can see them, so we will be glad to answer them.
I'm glad it's not just you and I today, Amy. Great.
Right. It's not just you and I. There's quite a few guys on here.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about if we took our top 250 teams, what that would mean, Frank?
Yeah. So, again, when we talk about quality, which I was just referring to, if you were to take our top 250 teams in eXp, they'd be the fifth or sixth largest brokerage in the country. So
That's
think about what I'm just saying to you. 250 teams would be number 4 or 5 or 6, somewhere in that range. Largest real estate companies in the U.S. That is amazing when you think about that.
It's incredible. We have teams that do over $1 billion in sales every year. And the great thing is we're talking to more independent brokerages and teams of that same caliber. And to me, that means that, the agents are wanting to align with us because we're doing something right, but they also want to align with these really powerful, productive teams and agents that we have. And so we've really got something special here.
Yeah, and I think it's important as you're switching, I think it's important to talk about that too, because I think, myth busting number 2, that you have to be a team to come to eXp. And that's just not the case. Actually, over 60% of the agents that are here at eXp are individual agents. So, everybody has a peer group here. There's a spot for everyone here. And, again, all of our tools and all of our education is geared towards making every single agent here more productive.
Yeah. And honestly, those single agents, a lot of them are more profitable than teams. So it just depends on what you want to do.
Right.
We definitely have profitable teams, and we train them on that as well. So, it's not a one size fits all. And our agents get to have the autonomy to do what they want to with their business. So, it's exciting. So Frank, we can work from anywhere. I was in Canada and I was still taking calls with teams and brokerages and agents. And so this is a great thing. Like, we have the freedom with the cloud-based to have training, and you can do it from anywhere, which was pretty cool.
Well, it's the beauty of being cloud-based, right? So you never have to be interrupted. And there's a couple of things that we just want to highlight is that, you have access to our entire platform from anywhere in the world 24/7. We actually have an expert care desk, a concierge desk is what we call it, where you can actually get a live person on the phone 24/7 too if you're having an issue. So, it's funny because people are like, oh my God, but I need a brick and mortar or I can't function. Well, you don't. You can function from anywhere, which is really cool. And Amy kind of alluded to it earlier. If you look at all the new models that are coming out, they're all going cloud-based, right? And there's a reason for it. And for us, and this kind of gets to the foundation of when I'm talking about agent-centric, we're going to touch on why that's so important, that us being cloud-based, it eliminates a lot of the overhead. Now, you will see offices out there across the country. You'll see eXp offices. Those are agent-owned offices. So it's not like we don't exist. But when it comes to our corporate office and how we operate strictly through the cloud-based.
We do. And I love that our agents sometimes decide that they want to have a brick and mortar. We also, when an agent joins eXp, they get a membership to Regis offices. And I know here in the Charlotte area where I am, there's I think there's 8 Regis offices. So that's an opportunity for our agents to, if they want to, drop into the office, then they're able to do that.
Yeah.
So there's choices out there. And getting back to being cloud-based, and when I think about the access, and I think we cover this a little bit later, the access to compliance or managing brokers is so immediate, and they're so accessible. When our agents have questions or they need to get someone on the phone for something that they're dealing with in a contract or a certain situation, usually they can have an answer within 2 minutes, which is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to touch on that in just a second.
Yep.
And it'll be now. So here is our platform, and we do have a monthly fee. It's $85 a month, and that gets you access to our entire platform, which you see in front of you. I don't even know how you would add up the value to this platform. It's a lot more than $85. Yeah, there's a couple things that we want to highlight. As I talked to you before, and I was kind of pointing out, what kind of pain points do you have? Are you having problems with time management? Are you having problems with lead gen? Are you having problems with marketing, whatever? We have all the solutions for you. So that's the beautiful thing about it. We're going to highlight just a few things here. So if you look at the tech deck, just as an example, everyone gets a CSU account here. We just added that in 2024, along with a Canva Pro account. I mean, those two things alone would probably cost about $1,000 a month if you added them together, maybe a little bit more, just for those two items. And that's two of this entire platform. So again, everyone gets a CSU account. Everyone gets a Canva Pro account. We also have SkySlope. SkySlope for us is kind of our virtual filing cabinet, if you will. So all of your transactions are uploaded into SkySlope. We have a compliance team that is strictly dedicated to making sure that everything is, all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted so that everybody's compliant and we won't have any problems. So that alone is worth it. That's just one little column of what we have left. So Amy, you want to take lead gen?
Sure, I do. We have KB Core, and very soon we will have a couple other options for that. So it'll be a menu of choice. So definitely that's coming. You'll learn more about that later. We really want our agents to have choices in their CRM and what they're doing. The one thing that gets me really pumped is Revenos. We gave out over 44,000 leads in 2024 for over $1.4 billion in transactions, which is incredible. So when you talk about value of agents being with eXp, when you get certified, and that is just an incredible way to build your business. And I don't know, you were in the conversation with Leo today when he said, hey, take this business, because then these guys are in your book of business. You're going to put them in your CRM. You're going to continue to market to them, lean on them. You're going to contact them, invite them to things, and then they are your client from there on out, right? So what a great addition to be able to build your book of business with eXp. Making it rain is an add-on, and a lot of our agents really love that for increasing the amounts of leads that they get through KB Core. We have so many amazing things that agents can do to get more leads, and some of that is just being at eXp itself, with having over 85,000 agents. We send each other leads. We have referral groups within eXp. So many opportunities to build your business.
Yeah, I think it's important. That's a huge point to talk about. Again, you said it in the beginning, we are not a franchise. So as a famous airline company used to say, you're free to move about the country, which is pretty cool around here. And we do that. I think when I tell people there's kind of two ingredients you need to be successful here. And number one is to think bigger than you've ever thought, because we don't have those borders. Really think about your messaging. Think about your branding. When you're talking to your database, what does that look like? So number one is to think bigger. And then number two is to plug in. If you plug into the people and you plug into this platform, a lot of great things can happen. So as an example, let's talk about the training. So we have eXp University, which is phenomenal. Brian Ellington is our chief learning officer, and he is regarded as one of the top guys in the industry. And we're so blessed to have him. And he has taken this thing and molded it into an absolute giant library of information, if you will. We have over 80 live trainings every single week, and they are taught by our icon agents. And we'll define that in just a little bit, but so you understand, our icon agents are our highest producing agents in the company. And obviously they're doing something right. So because of that, we like them to share. And again, it gets back to our core values of who we are, about people sharing their playbook. Off of that, I do want to highlight a couple of things. We do have a fast cap program. This program is sensational. That's probably, it would probably be an $800-ish program on its own. It's included in the $85. What's fast cap? It's a 6-week program where we get you plugged into our platform, and you're gonna have action items. You're gonna have a little bit of accountability. It's gonna kind of show you our tools and make you use them. Right now, we had a beta test back in July. We had about 150, 200 agents that ran through it, and the results of that beta test were the people who actually plugged in and did it were averaging 4 transactions in those 6 weeks. And we're going to define transactions as either had a listing, a buyer, or they actually sold a property, they put it under contract. So to have that kind of activity and those kinds of results in just 6 weeks, it's phenomenal. So, and it's open to anybody. It's free for us here. We have a mentor program for new agents. We have Elevate Coaching for those more advanced agents that are trying to get to the highest levels. So again, and we'll get into the Team Leader Academy in a second, but it's important to highlight that everybody here has a peer group. There's somewhere for everybody to fit in. So no matter where you are on your real estate journey, we have something for you. Nobody's excluded. And I love that about the company. Team Leader Academy. So people who are trying to form teams, we get you involved in EOS systems, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. And Susan McLean, who's heading that, has done such an exceptional job. And we have people going through it now. And I mean, we have a waiting line, last I heard, to get into these things. So just a couple of things. We have masterminds under training. Again, all the brightest industry leaders that are in our company are sharing their ideas across the country and having masterminds every single week that you can jump into.
Yeah, we have regional rallies coming up in April and May. If you're listening and you want to explore, find out where a regional rally is. I know we're attending a couple of them. I'm going to be in Detroit, and I'm also going to be in Columbia, South Carolina with you, Frank. And so I think there's like 15 of them across the U.S. So definitely that's a place where you can really feel the culture of eXp. We celebrate our agents. We celebrate our agents that are rookies. We celebrate our agents that are cappers. We celebrate our icons, and we just love to pour into our agents and celebrate all that they're doing. So definitely find one of those and get to it. So speaking of support, we talked about that somewhat, but we have, most of our states have multiple brokers in them. And so when you go into Frame or the World, there's usually like a handful of brokers there ready, willing, and able to answer a question for you. So the turnaround time getting back to you is really quick. And that is not the only source. You can also, we have an internal communication. And so you can go in there and ask questions to the broker team. We have a 1-800 number. Our brokers do have after hours. So getting an answer from a broker is super quick. I know I used to be in an office of, 400 to 500. And we had one broker, and she was great, and she wanted to get back, but it couldn't be that quick. So when you talk about having, great support, like we have it, and because we are able to work virtually, we're able to get the brightest and the best. So we pride ourselves in having like really knowledgeable brokers, and they serve our agents at the highest level. We talked about the compliance. We have expert care, and I think we talk about that again in a little bit, but they're available 24/7 for our agents, which is really phenomenal when you think about it. And guess what, Frank? That we have the growth team. We have the growth team that, yep, that's us. So Frank and I are on the growth team. And then there's, I think 13 or 14, I can't keep up. Like we just hired a lot of RDs. So we have 2 other VPs with Frank, and then we have about 10 VP RDs. So we are there to help our agents. If they want to grow, we do attraction strategy sessions. We meet with teams and brokerages. Our RDs, our regional directors, are going and hosting in real life events with our agents at least monthly, sometimes more than that. You were just bragging on some of the RDs that you have, that they are out there and meeting with the agents. So it's really important for us to be among the agents, build a community, and make sure that whatever their goals are for attraction and growth, that we want to lock arms with them and help them get there.
Yeah, pretty awesome. I'm actually going to be leading an attraction strategy meeting tomorrow morning. I can't wait for it. It's going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And the other thing we want to touch on real quickly is that we do have multiple divisions. So yes, we have the realty side. We have a commercial division, which there's over 700 agents. Which if that was its own company, they would be in the top 4, I believe, commercial companies in the country, and they're crushing it. So 2 thumbs up to Sean Murphy, the job you're doing there. Way to go, Sean. So you have a commercial division. We have the luxury division out there. We have a military division. And so, there's all these different opportunities. And I think it's important for people to see that, you don't just have to go down one lane. You have multiple lanes, which kind of leads us to the land of opportunity when we talk about revenue share and we talk about our compensation package, which we're going to get into right now.
All right, here we go. Frank, do you want to talk about the compensation package? Let's do it together. So for me, I like to say, let's just pretend we had a $10,000 commission from a transaction, from a closing. how eXp sets that up is it's an 80-20 split. So on a $10,000 commission, the agent would get $8,000. eXp would get $2,000. So if we did that same transaction 8 times, so the 2,000 times 8 is going to equal 16,000. Well, then that agent has capped. So the agent has capped, and they don't owe eXp anymore 20%. After that, there's just a transaction fee, a $250 transaction fee that also caps at $5,000. So what an incredible way for Glenn to set up this model so that our agents, can you imagine, like in 8 transactions, you're capped, and then you're just paying $250, and we get all that value to help us get there quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So if you go to the next slide, I can show them what the cost of that is. So yes, 80-20 split, right? With a $16,000 cap. We talked about, here's some the fees that everybody's always asking us about. There's a $149 startup fee. So when you do join eXp, that's a one-time fee, and that actually includes your first month of your cloud brokerage fee. But that gets you onto our platform and gets you rolling with us. We do have an $85 a month cloud brokerage fee that I spoke about before, get you that entire platform. And then while you're capping, while you're in that 80-20 split to get the 16,000, there is an $85 transaction fee. And it's broken up into 2 pieces, as you see here. One of them is $25 is your transaction review fee. So if you remember back when Amy was talking about all the support, we have a broker team, which all they do is focus on broker issues. They're not in charge of all the other stuff that a traditional brokerage might have, where, maybe they're in charge of recruiting, training, CE, paying the bills, all this stuff. All they do is focus on our agents and our agents' needs. Then we have another team, it's a compliance team, and they look at every single file that's uploaded into SkySlope to make sure that everything's good. So that's what that $25 gets you. The remaining $60 is the risk management fee, or E&O. And that caps at $750. That's paid per transaction. So if you get to a point to where you hit the $750, then we would not collect any more money on the risk management until you reset the following year.
There you go. And with the $149 startup fee, you guys also would get 250 business cards and a couple other things with that. So really get your, get everything you need to get your business started. Also get a digital business card, which is
very cool. Okay, so as Amy was talking about the compensation package, one of the things that is probably one of the greatest opportunities for us here is you have the opportunity to have multiple revenue streams, meaning you have different ways of making money here. Where in a traditional brokerage, you're kind of on that hamster wheel, right? We call that being a transactional agent, where if you're selling houses, great, you're getting paid. If you're not selling houses, you're not. And everything's dependent on that, that's hard, and that's how real estate was before Glenn came up with this awesome model. So what we're going to talk about are some of the other opportunities, some of the other avenues you have and ways of making money here. So one of them are company awarded stocks. What does that mean? We're a publicly traded company on the stock market. Yep, thank you, on NASDAQ. Thank you. And it's important that you understand that as you hit certain production benchmarks here, the company's going to award you stocks. For example, every year when you have your first settlement, we call that a first settlement award. You're going to get a $200 stock award every single year that happens. So we're going to use 5, Amy, because it's easy math. If you're here for 5 years, you have a closing every year for 5 years. That's $1,000 worth of stock just given to you. Every year that you cap, you'll get an additional $400 stock award. That's pretty awesome. Let's do that times 5. That's another $2,000. So add that to the 1,000. Now you got $3,000 worth of stock over 5 years that was given to you. This is starting to turn into some real money, isn't it? So again, these are things for doing your daily activities that you're getting rewarded for. We also have a couple of other ones. One is if you were to bring somebody to eXp. So for an example, Amy was at another company and she and I are friends. And I'm like, Amy, you need to come check out this eXp thing. And she comes over, she joins us. When she has her first transaction, I'm going to get a $400 stock award for that as well. That's a one-time award. That's pretty cool. And that would happen for anybody that I brought over. Pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Then we have this other thing. I'm going to get into the Icon real quick. Amy, then I'll turn it over to you for agent equity.
Sure.
So the Icon Award, this is another company awarded stock program. You remember a couple of minutes ago, we talked about our classes are taught by the Icons and that they are higher producing agents. You're on an 80-20 split with a $16,000 cap. When you cap, you go to 100%. When you're at 100%, meaning we don't take any more money, there's a $250 transaction fee. That $250 also has a cap. It caps at $5,000. So once you've done that, you now have hit what we call icon status. So remember that $16,000 that you paid in a cap? You now have the opportunity to get that back in the form of stock. How does that happen? Well, half of it comes back to you right away. So $8,000 comes back to you just because you hit icon status. Sweet. The other $8,000 is broken up into a couple of pieces. Half of that, $4,000, we ask you to give back. Remember, I talked about teaching classes or sitting on a panel or the mentor program. Because you're successful and you're sharing back to the organization, you get a $4,000 cap award or stock award. The remaining $4,000 is broken up into a couple of pieces. By attending 2 of our events a year, our eXp sponsored events like an eXp Con, a regional rally that we just been talking about, you would get the remaining $4,000 worth of stock. So there's $16,000 worth of stock. If you really look at it, every year that you icon, you're getting $16,600 worth of stock. Now we're talking about some real money, like life-changing money. Do that times 5. You're talking about what, $83,000, $85,000 worth of stock that the company awarded you for what you're going to do on a daily basis anyway. So when I get passionate about this, Amy, because it goes back to the whole agent-centric thing. This company has an exit strategy for each and every one of us. It has a way out. It has a legacy piece. It has an emergency fund if you need it, a college fund, a vacation fund, whatever it is that you have. All this hard work that we put in, we work hard. We all know that. To know that there's something that we're building towards, that there's a light at the end of the tunnel is amazing. And those are just a couple of the opportunities.
I love that. And I mean, we know agents that they've bought vacation homes. They've gotten backyard oases with, the stock money. And so I just, when you think about it again, because it's you're being awarded and rewarded for something that you're already doing every day. So it's phenomenal. And that is one of the game changers for me when I decided to choose eXp, because I was like, that is what makes a difference for families when you do have an exit strategy and you don't just have to keep sticking signs in yards. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You can continue to do that if you want to, but the compound effect of this, is incredible. And so it gives agents, another solution if they need to. So the other part is the agent equity commission program. And what that is, Frank, is if I opt in, so it's an opt-in or an opt-out when you join eXp, and you can change your mind, once you're in. So you just have to notify us, but you can opt in to purchase stock at a 5% discount with your commission. So I can go in and take 5% of my commission and purchase stock at a 5% discount with every closing. And again, the compound effect of that over time is just incredible because it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. I know for the few transactions that I do, I've opted in, and I like to see the growth that it's had over the last 4 years. It's been an incredible thing when you are able to get awarded stock that you're earning, and then you're also opting into this agent equity commission program. And if you're awesome enough to be an icon agent, then that's when you're really going to see some dramatic compound effect of the stock awards. So incredible.
Yeah. Well, I always ask people while we're on this chart, I'm like, I have 2 questions for you, the people who are not with us. One is, how many houses do you have to sell to get ownership in your current brokerage? We just answered that with 1 here. You only have to sell 1 house, you get stock. 2, how many houses do you have to sell to get back the company dollar that you paid to that brokerage? We have a solution for that as well. So when you think about that, it's amazing. You're going to be here. It didn't cost you anything to be here, essentially, when you start thinking about the stock awards and stock options. When you hit icon, if you were able to hit icon, you essentially didn't have to pay anything to be here, which is unreal. But there's actually a way to get more than 100%. You can actually get more than that back.
100% plus, Frank?
Possibly. There's this thing called revenue share out there. You may have heard about that.
Talk about it, right?
Revenue share. Yeah. So this is pretty awesome. And again, it gets back to 2 things I kind of referenced earlier. One is the agent-centric piece. I'm going to beat that like a dead horse because it's important that people understand you get to share in the revenue that's brought into this company. Every one of us is an agent, which is an unbelievable opportunity. Number 2, remember when we spoke about being cloud-based and we don't have all the overhead and we don't have all the buildings? This is why. Since we don't have that, we have the opportunity to share revenue back with the agents. So in the simplest form, 50 cents of every dollar that comes in to eXp is given back to the agents in the form of revenue share. It goes in a revenue share pool. Remember that 80-20? That 20% is what we call company dollar. And that's what's depicted here on this second circle on the right. Half of it, that's at $16,000. 8,000 is the company dollar that goes into us to run our business, and the other 8,000 goes into the revenue share pool, which all the agents who participate in revenue share have an opportunity to, be paid out of that, which is great.
Yeah, it's incredible. And it's right off the top. So it is predictable every single month because it's definitely a 50-50 share every month. So you know exactly what that looks like. And we have an app that we can track it on, which is pretty cool.
That is great. And so it was paid out in 7 different tiers. We're going to kind of give it a high level view, but we're happy to get into detail with anybody who's watching. If you schedule an appointment with us, we can certainly get into much more detail, but so you understand, it goes 7 tiers deep, meaning if I bring somebody in and they bring somebody in, et cetera, it just keeps getting paid 7 tiers deep. Now, Mythbuster number 3, everybody has to do this. No, you don't. This is an option for you. It's an opportunity for you. But I always say, why wouldn't you? It doesn't make any sense. Everybody that I know, Amy, whatever company they're working at, somebody brought them there.
Yeah.
There's a very few exceptions where people who open up their real estate companies day one after getting their license. Other than that, everybody has been brought to whatever company they are currently working at. The only difference between them and us is you get compensated for it. So if you were to you love the company here and you were to introduce this to other people and they join, you're going to get compensated for it. It's really just that simple.
I don't know about you, but anytime I'm across the aisle or across the table, the closing table with another amazing agent, they almost every single time they will ask you, so what do you like about eXp? Like, what's good over there? And we're leading the industry in so many aspects right now. So really and truly, it's just sharing why we love eXp so much. And when you share like, hey, like I'm getting stock awarded just for doing business, that's an incredible story. And agents want to hear about that. So when you think about the impact that you could have for other agents and for their families, why not share? They're going to ask you about it. And so just think about the cross sells that you have. And I always say, like, even if you're just covering like a utility bill a month, like that means something. And then maybe it turns into a car payment. Maybe it turns into a mortgage payment, and you don't have to do it overnight. It's just by simply, answering questions, loving where you are, plugging in where you are, and, sharing all that you're getting out of being plugged in and aligned with eXp and the collaboration with the other agents. So it's just that simple. I do want to point out, we have these 7 tiers. Last year, Glenn really wanted to reward our producers. And so at eXp, you've always needed to have a certain level of producers to unlock each level. But now if you're a productive agent and you're a capper, then you're going to have all the way down to tier 5 unlocked. That means like anybody that you have in lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to get the full amount of revenue share from them, which is incredible. If you're an icon agent, the most elite agents that we have, you're going to have all 7 levels unlocked for 13 months after you hit that mark. So an incredible way to reward our producers. And again, we're telling you now, production matters, and we want to make sure that our producers are getting rewarded and they have full benefits from revenue share.
Yeah, it's awesome. And just to put this in perspective for everybody, last year we paid out over $200 million in revenue share back to the agents. Over $200 million back to the agents in the form of revenue share. It's mind-blowing when you think about it. And, we talked about this compensation package, Amy. So now we're going to highlight, we have this great aggressive commission split. We have these company awarded stocks. We have this icon award. We have the agent equity program. And we have a revenue share program. There's 5 different lanes alone, and there's more, but there's 5 different lanes alone where you can be making money and not just be a transactional agent. This is what the allure is to come here, is the opportunity to really think like a business person, to really expand on your opportunities to make revenue.
It is. I do want to mention, which we haven't mentioned before, because I know since I started, we actually announced at eXpCon that there are co-sponsors. So, and our co-sponsorship is different because you're able to bring that co-sponsor in, and we call it multiplication, not division. So if that's something that you're interested, because oftentimes, you've talked to a couple of different agents and you're not sure, who to pick. Well, now, like, you have an option. Or if you're, in one area and you want to be aligned, in the community, but you're also really interested in what you're seeing someone do across the country, well, you have the opportunity to have both. So again, like any of this information that you guys are interested in and you want to learn more about, and you want to go into it at a deeper level than we're talking about today, we'd love to explain it more, because a lot of this, it's not that it's complicated, but it works like with stick figure drawings. It's usually a little bit easier to break down. So if at any time you want to learn more about this, then Frank and I are available, as well as the rest of the growth team, to have a deeper dive into what all this means.
Yeah, it's a lot of information, but at the end of the day, it's really the foundation, the absolute definition of collaboration. So again, it's that opportunity to take full advantage of everything that this company has to offer you. So
and what I'm seeing already with the co-sponsorship is, it's not, we didn't ever really have silos. We get accused of having silos, but at the same time, it seems like suddenly we don't know who's in what line, and everyone is working together. They're doing masterminds together. They're opening. They were already opening their playbooks, but at an even deeper level, and inviting more agents in. And that's super exciting to me. That the collaboration, you didn't think it could get any better, but it is. And so we're already seeing evidence of that. So effective May 1st, but we did announce it at eXpCon. So another thing that we really care about is our community. So we have these different platforms, One eXp, I Love eXp. And when our agents are in distress, or if there's a community in distress from a natural disaster, then we lean in both with boots on the ground and in dollars. So we are super passionate about, our agents, and we're committed to having a better environment and community experience for our agents. And if they're having some hardship, then we're leaning into them and figuring out how we can contribute to them and help ease the pain through that.
Yeah, I mean, giving back is what we're all about. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then as we get ready to wrap up here, one of the things I wanted to touch on, you go to the next slide, too, Amy. One of the things I wanted to touch on, so everybody understands that, we have a 24/7 expert care desk. We talked about in the beginning. So it doesn't matter where you are. You have an opportunity to speak to somebody if you need something, and they can get you going in the right direction, which is awesome. We're all about the agent experience. As agents, we focus on the customer experience. As a company, we're focusing on the agent experience, making sure you have everything that you guys need. And the other thing I wanted to touch on really quickly is there are healthcare opportunities for every one of our agents. We do have a plan here, which you can get yourself a free quote on what a policy would look like for you. I know personally, I'm a family of 6. I've got 4 daughters. So getting that quote was pretty important, and had a pretty big savings for me personally. So it worked out great. We have over 80,000 plus agents. Then the premiums and the deductibles all are pretty good when you're that large. So those opportunities are available for everybody as well. Man, and we covered a lot today.
We did. This was a great day. If you have more questions, you can get in touch. There's a QR code here. So, and again, we're available if you have more questions. But I enjoyed my time again with you this evening, Mr. Panunto.
Oh, it was great. Thank you. And thank you to Juan back there behind the screen. You guys can't see who's putting this together for us. And again, thank you guys for coming to the Insider. And we're going to be here every Tuesday. So if you missed something, you can certainly get back in touch with us, or just come see us again next Tuesday.